Hello and welcome to the Astro Forecast for the week of May 10th to May 16th. So we are starting off this week with a new moon in Taurus. Now, Taurus is such a lovely, it's a fixed earth sign. And so this is a time when we're going to be coming into setting intentions for grounding things that are in alignment with our values, things that rule or Taurus rules our values, the earth, banking, finance, even relationships, but like the things that we call my is what really Taurus rules. And so for us during this time with the sun and the moon at the exact same degree in Taurus, this is going to be a lovely time to set an intention and plant seeds for what is in alignment with your values. Now, there is, and bringing more of that into your life, really, that's what it means. So at this full moon, the next full moon, in Taurus is going to be November 19th, 2021. So whatever intention you set now, I would highly recommend you write it on your calendar for November 19th of 2021 and see how that comes to fruition in some way. It'll come to a new understanding, a new light at that time in your life. So whatever you're planting now is going to grow into something quite beautiful down the road. Will it be finished? No. It will be on its path, on its way to growing into something bigger. And we are in cycles, right? Our life is full of cycles. That's why I love astrology. Oops, I was so excited. I love astrology because astrology has all these cycles. And so it's predictable, right? If we follow the predictable cycles of the planets, we can understand our place in that and what's coming up for us. Now, I always say to all of my intuition students and all of the people that come into my life, create your own book of evidence. You can't make this stuff up. So I'm going to encourage you to set your intention for this time in your life, according to your values. And maybe you can also look at where this falls in your chart. This is at the 21st degree of Taurus. So if you don't know what your chart is, you can go to astro.com and look up your chart and then see where 21 degrees of Taurus is and set your intention for that part of your chart. Now, I know that's asking a lot. So you can, if you don't know all of that, or you don't want to get into that detail, just setting your intention for what is presenting now in your life that is helping you to come into alignment with your values, or what is something that you're trying to you really want to do. Your spirit knows the way. So even if you don't know astrology, it's okay. Your spirit's already going to tell you, this is the thing that I really want to work on at this point in my life. Setting the intention for what you want that to look like, and then putting it on the calendar for November 19th. So at this new moon, in Taurus, the Neptune, the planet of intuition, higher knowledge, but connection to the divine, spirituality, one love, devotion, is going to be helping this new moon. We call it a sextile in astrology. And so what that is there's going to be this, that's why your spirit kind of already knows the way. There's going to be this intuitive sense, this creative passion that's going to come out for you. And not passion, because Neptune is not passion. Neptune is more like spiritual flow, going with it. It's one love. It's not passion. Passion is like Mars and Aries, that's passion. So this is more going to feel like your intuition is going to know the way for what the intention you're going to set right now is. So follow your heart, listen to that inner knowing, that gut instinct, and set that intention. Now, there is what's making 2021 such a dynamic year is there is this square, which is a conflict of planets, and it's between Saturn and Uranus. Now, Saturn is the old guard and Uranus is the new. It is new age. It is, bucking tradition. Like it's actually, they're in conflict with each other. Saturn wants us to own up to our responsibilities and do the thing. And Uranus is like, no, I want to rebel. I want to be free. And so with all these planets, so Uranus is in Taurus and Saturn is at the beginning degrees or in Aquarius. So this is also elevating consciousness by breaking up the old guard as well. And usually this is at 2 degrees or 2 degrees apart at this new moon. It's going to be in play for all of this year. But what's interesting in this new moon is that there's so many planets building in Taurus that it's sort of energizing that Uranian side of the equation. So what we're going to see is more rebelling against the status quo. And what's happening right now is COVID is on the rise, right? The variant is taking over. That is part of the natural progression of a pandemic. And whether you believe that to be true or not, I think what we really need to come into understanding of is the healthcare system, especially here in Canada, cannot sustain so much pressure on it. So everything that's being done is really to protect the healthcare system. Now, there's other parts of this. There's mental health, there's communication and connection, there's people getting sick just from being by themselves all the time. Like, we are built for human connection. I do not envy the people who have to do those, make the rules for us, because how do you balance economy and businesses with the healthcare system and making decisions of who lives and who dies? I don't know. That's not my place to say. But what I'm saying is that pressure is going to build. And there's going to be more people that are kind of skirting those rules and wanting to just be free and, maybe don't want to believe in it, or maybe don't trust the science, whatever it is. There's just going to be more backlash to it. So we're just going to see, the systems in place trying to lock that down and try to keep the system from failing. That's what it is. That's what we're going to see more of. What's going to help us during this moon is Mars in Cancer, which is very nurturing, loving Mars. It wants to, do things that feel emotionally good. It wants to be at home, and it's going to be working with Uranus in Taurus. So this is going to actually feel like building banking evolution, new ways of being in the world. This is going to be innovative, thinking. This is going to be good things. I think there's going to be a lot of new ideas coming to light with technology. Uranus rules technology, and Saturn is in Aquarius, which is also a technological sign. So there's going to be more innovation that's going to help us with this. So, we already saw these vaccines come up, which is, huge evolution in technology. One of the fastest ways that they've created, things that are kind of advancing healthcare, even understanding how ventilators work and creating new ways of ventilation has just been it's just been really cool to see all the technological advances that have happened because of this pressure that's being put on the system. So this is a full new moon for personal growth, a fresh start for the planet and the earth as well, because Taurus rules the earth. So this is a lovely time. I think we're going to see a lot of evolution of technology for keeping the earth safe and cleaning the oceans, and maybe even green energy coming to light during this time too. So very much a time of evolution. So plant your seeds wisely. Wednesday, May 12th, we have one really major event happening, but the one that's kind of nice and soft is the moon is going to be conjunct Venus. That happens once every month, so it's not kind of new. But it's beautiful because of the next thing that happens. So moon and Venus together, this is we feel very charming. We feel very loving. We feel very, wanting to connect with others. Our emotion and our relationships are really kind of put together here in a really lovely way. So feeling also self-indulgent. So be careful if you're indulging, improving personal relationships, peace, harmony, and emotional caring, right? This is about really being caring and compassionate. And the other aspect on this day is Mercury is going to be trine to Saturn. So Mercury is our mind and the way that we communicate and process intellectual thought. And Saturn is about our responsibility. So having these two planets working very well together, which is a trine, this is about us now being motivated to get things done. We want to get a jump start. We're really kind of, knocking things off our to-do list, trying to get organized. And good concentration, great achievement, goal setting, following through, serious and concise communication. So this is a really lovely day to write your emails, to talk, to have a good conversation. This is also about getting deep into, maybe even speaking to topics that you're wanting to speak about and learn more about too. This is about really learning about things. It's not propaganda. This is about research and what is actually true. So good day for that. Thursday, May 13th, Jupiter moves into Pisces. So many people in the spiritual community are really excited about this. Jupiter spends about a year in a sign. And because it goes around the zodiac every 12 years, it comes back to its original point every 12 years. So it's about to complete a full cycle. It's going to be in Pisces for the next year. And Pisces is all about healing, spirituality. Jupiter expands whatever it touches. So to have Jupiter here in this is about the collective going through a massive healing together. This is about us going, therapy. This is about us connecting, being in touch with our intuition, really accepting therapy in our lives. I was listening to the radio this morning and they were talking about this is a time in history where more people than ever are actually talking about mental health. And as one of the side effects of the pandemic, because we've all had to struggle, and it's okay now, the stigma of talking about mental health and depression and sadness and suicide and drug addiction, that has all come to the forefront as a result of this pandemic, which is beautiful. And more people than ever are saying that they will go to therapy. They will receive therapy, a psychologist, outside support. They're willing to have that happen. And I know for me and a lot of my clients, the old guard, no, you don't tell people about your problems. You don't air dirty laundry. And what a bullshit, thing that is. You can't get any help for it. So just stuff it down as far as you can. And when it comes up again and you're like going crazy in your life, don't let it out. Keep stuffing it down until it becomes sickness in the body and then you die. So this is a time where we're really turning the tables on that. It makes me so excited. And so Jupiter going into Pisces makes me very excited because I think we're going to see the rise of more, telephone helplines. I know there's some on a number of podcasts, they're talking about, I think it's called More Help, Better Help, something like that, which is a call-in line for, to talk to a psychologist. And they're hiring more people in that. More people are going into mental health. I have a couple of friends that are actually going into their masters in psychology because they're like, this has really energized them for the need for that support and they want to be that. So this is going to be good. I think we're going to see a lot of people coming up with more mental health and talking about really the effects of this. We're going to feel these effects for a long time, especially on our little people. And so how can we help that along? Jupiter is going to help. So Thursday, Jupiter is going to go into Pisces, therapy, expanding, healing, spiritual evolution coming up there. And then the sun is also going to be sextile to Neptune. So Neptune is the ruling planet for Pisces, and a sextile is harmony. It helps. There's a 60-degree angle, and the sun is our vitality. It's our individuality. And it's really what you're working to embody in this lifetime. So your sun sign, whatever that may be, you are working to embody all the aspects of that, good aspects, I would say. Every sign has its detriments as well, and that's okay. And if we know that part of us, then we can heal it too. Or when we see it come up, we can give it love and just accept that might be part of us, but then really accentuate more of our positive aspects that help us to be in harmony with our lives and feel good about ourselves. So as we come back to the sun sextile to Neptune, this is a time when we really feel in alignment with our spirit, with our intuition. So our egoic self, who we think about ourselves, is flowing with our intuition, not fighting it. If this was a square, there'd be a fight. This is a flow aspect. So this is easier solutions presenting because your intuition is, in connection with that, becoming easier to follow your inner knowing. Healing and spirituality are easier to accept. Creativity, imagination, and compassion. Those are all Pisces aspects as well with Neptune and Pisces. So this is lovely. This is going to be a feeling for this day on Thursday of real expansion. Now, the moon is also making two other really wonderful aspects too. It's conjunct Mercury, which again, this is our intuition. You'll be speaking really lovely. You'll have you'll be able to speak to people and really speak to their emotional needs. So that's going to be beautiful. And it's also trining to Saturn. So our emotions and our responsibilities are coming together that we feel motivated to do things. So good day to get things done on Thursday. Now, on the 14th, which is the Friday, we are now entering Mercury retrograde shadow. So what that means is everything that happens after the 14th up till when Mercury goes retrograde, which I believe is the 29th of May, and it's going to be in Gemini, all of those degrees. So everything you do between the 14th and the 29th, you will be doing it over again. And you'll be doing it over again in a way where you're seeing it through new eyes, or you have to review it, or you're being forced to slow down and do it again. So maybe that's like you delete files or you have to review something. An example is if you submitted chapters to a publisher, they would return it back with requests to edit and refine it. So that's what Mercury retrograde is. And what the Mercury retrograde is just Mercury going slower than the Earth. And it's a time for the collective to slow down, to reassess, to review, and to rest. I think rest is one of my favorite parts of Mercury retrograde. Now, if you are a Gemini, or if you are a Virgo, or you have heavy Virgo and Gemini in your chart, you will feel this very hard because I'm a Virgo. I tell you, it is hard because Mercury is our ruling planet. Mercury is the ruling planet for Gemini and Virgo. So you'll feel it really hard. The other thing to know is if you have Mercury in retrograde in your chart, this will feel like a coming home. This will feel totally normal. It feels good. It feels like everyone's finally going at your pace and you can catch up. So if you have Mercury retrograde in your chart, congratulations, your time is coming. And if you don't, oh my God, just, patience, back everything up. And if you're traveling, make sure you have backups to everything so that you're not getting caught. So, and it's just time to slow down, and it's okay. This is like a collective sigh that it's okay to slow down and you don't have to go 10,000 miles an hour. And don't we all need that? Don't we all need that? So yay for that. So we're coming into the shadow period, starting the 14th. So pay attention to what you're doing between the 14th and the 29th, because you are going to be doing it again in some way or going over it in a new way in your mind to glean a place where you can make it better. It's always for the better. And then Saturday, May 15th, this is kind of a minor aspect. It's Mars in conjunct Saturn. Now, I don't talk too much about in conjuncts, but really what it is that they are not flowing. The energy doesn't flow. It almost has a kink in it. So there's a need for adjustment and a paradox between these two planets. Now, Mars is in Cancer, and this is all about, inner foundations. Cancer rules kind of the home, the inner foundations, your early childhood years of foundational formation. And Saturn is in Aquarius, which is all about our responsibility to the collective, to community, to our friendship groups, and really, it's responsibility and structure, and doing things sort of the traditional way. But Aquarius is not traditional by any standards. So it's really about breaking up the old guard to bring in evolution of the collective. So with Mars kind of working in this in conjunct, our motivations and our responsibilities need to adjust to each other. So normally what this kink in the energy makes you feel like you don't want to do anything. You're cautious and careful with your activities. This is what my advice for you on Saturday is, and also kind of going into Sunday. Cautious and careful with your activities. If you're thorough, you will be successful. If you work on yourself, we all need that. We will evolve as the world together. So that's the opportunity in this lovely aspect. The detriment of this aspect, or the struggle with this aspect, is you might not feel like doing anything. You might be angry. You might be emotional. You might be triggered on this day because you see people not doing what they're supposed to be doing, whatever that may be in your world. And I want you to really think about what that trigger is trying to show you. Because it's not that I'm right and they're wrong. That's not it. It's what about this needs you to be right and them to be wrong? And why can't we just all coexist? And if we all are doing our part, and the only thing that you are capable of is doing your part, you can't make somebody else do their part. You're not the police, and you're not the government. So don't worry about them. What's coming is coming to everyone. We all have consequences for our actions. We all do. And the consequences for staying home is mental health. We've all been going through it. That's why as a collective, we need to address it. And, going out and doing your thing and having a party or a rodeo or whatever that is, there's consequences to that too. So, unfortunately, the rules, or fortunately, whatever way you want to say it, this is a totally neutral video, it's going to play out the way it's going to play out. And all you can do is take care of you. But the more that we take care of ourselves in a responsible way that is responsible to the collective, not just I want, but also towards the collective, we will then see an evolution of the world coming up together. And I think where we're struggling is that there's so many people going, this is my job, this is what I want, this is my boundary. Boundaries are important. Boundaries are important. And you should feel comfortable doing the things that you're doing. But sometimes we have to do some uncomfortable things because it's the best for the collective. And I was talking to somebody about that the other day, and like, who likes wearing a mask? Who? Well, I mean, unless you have bad breath or you haven't put on makeup or you've broken out or whatever, you're having some teeth issues, whatever. But really, like, masks are very constrictive, right? And I'll be the first person to say, I have a hard time breathing with a mask. I really do, because I have asthma and right now it's allergy season. But I wear a mask and I have like 100 different masks that match my outfits because I personally feel like I'm being responsible. And of course, it's a rule. It's the rules. I'm a Virgo. I follow rules. That's what I do. If I was an Aquarius, I might feel differently about that. But again, I have zero judgment. I have friends that don't like it. I have friends that don't want to follow those rules. I still love them. I don't think they're bad people. I know that they have good hearts. And so I think there lies the issue, is that we make value judgments about people who don't have the same interests or same opinions as us. And the fact of the matter is, we are all human. We all want to be loved, to be safe, to be heard, to be seen, and to belong. We all want that. So how we go about that is different sometimes from each other. So that's my TED Talk. I am sending you all love. I hope this helps you for the week. We are now in eclipse season. The first eclipse is May 26th, and that will be not quite in my next forecast, but the one after that. But what that means is eclipse season is evolutionary jump points for the collective. It's going to be bringing up stressors and triggers for us to really heal, to jump our evolution to the next level. And sometimes, depending on where the eclipse hits in your chart, it can be very big, and sometimes you don't feel it at all. So that's it, whatever. But what we're seeing is, in the collective, and you're going to see it on the news, that things are just going to amp up, really just turn up the pressure on a lot of things. Just because we're, like I said, in an evolutionary jump point for the collective. That's what an eclipse is. So how can you make it easier for you is by accepting what is coming in, feeling the feelings, using those feelings as a path forward. What's not aligning with you, what is aligning with you, and follow that goodness, follow your intuition. There's a huge intuition undercurrent this week of following your soul, and this real spiritual nature that is Pisces and Neptune really playing out this week. Follow that. That's going to be your guiding light. All right, sending you all love. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment below your thoughts on the video. I would love to thank you for watching, and I really appreciate you. Have the best week ahead.